Welcome to the Region Free Gamers podcast. On today's episode, Yakuza arcade games, lots of VR love, cheating in Madden, and oh my god, the snail! The snail! Stop the snail for the love of...
Hello everyone, welcome to the Region Free Gamers podcast, the podcast fluent in gaming. My name's Paul Romalo, and with me today, out of Rhode Island, Arnaldo Perez.
Ew.
And rounding out the crew today, out of the Bronx, and mere walking distance from IHOP, Anthony Arriaga.
Brix, I'm so hungry right now, Paul. Damn.
You know what's the worst is when I'm at work, and it's 2 hours to lunch, and we start talking about food, and we start talking about our favorite foods. And this just happened yesterday. We were having our monthly Chinese food discussion because the Chinese food here in Whitehorse is horrendous. And so then I start fantasizing about all the delicious Chinese food I used to have access to when I was in Toronto. Oh my god! And I was just dying. I'm like, I gotta go on break now. I don't care. I'll eat lint if I have to.
That's what worries me about leaving New York is the Chinese food. I'll never be able to have takeout Chinese food, as terrible as it probably is.
You mean it's bad in New York?
No. I'm saying it's good. I love it here.
God.
In terms of real authentic food, I don't know how good it is for me.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't want to have it taste bad too, you know?
Exactly. If you're punishing yourself, it has to taste good.
I gotta go all in.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, if it's not obvious, today we're just chilling. Easy show.
Yeah.
We're just going to be talking about what we've been playing lately. And hey, before we get to that, though, I would be a gigantic jerk if I didn't offer a heartfelt thank you to everyone for listening and for getting in touch with us on social media. Recently, for example, on Instagram, I was chatting with Dead Memes and Things. I love that name.
Yeah.
And we got into a really, useful to me conversation about cities skylines, because I wanted to play that one for years. And I'm like, I don't know, man. The last game I played like that was SimCity 4, and I feel like that was kind of the pinnacle of that genre, and cities might disappoint me. And so we got into a little conversation about it, and it was pretty cool. And it's all just because he reached out. We love chatting with you guys, so hey, reach out to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so again, thanks for listening. Tell a friend about the show if you enjoy it. And don't forget to leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcasts app. And if you've already left us a review, again, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arnie, you were talking about that PSN sale before we got started.
God. So many things.
What's is there one game in particular that you just have to get? I'm assuming it's going to be in VR since you now live in VR.
I actually only got one VR game that I'm very interested to play. It's called Kona. And it's actually, the story is super interesting. It kind of reminds me of... It's giving me what's that game? Alan Wake vibes, sort of. So apparently you're this detective in northern Canada in the 70s, and there's this giant blizzard that goes over a town. I think it's called Kona. Don't quote me on that. And you have to go in and investigate what happened, and there's supernatural stuff going on and everything. And so that game was on sale for $3, and then if you paid an extra $1, you got the VR upgrade, so you can play it in VR. So I was like, I'm definitely playing this in VR.
This is awesome. For me, this means I can go outside without actually going outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paul's face lit up when you said Canada.
I know.
His face
but the big one I think that I got was the Hotline Miami has a bundle where you can get the 2 games for $5, and I'd never played Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
So that was the one that was a must get for me. I was definitely getting this.
Yeah, I think for that price, even I'm probably going to, because I've never played it either, and it's been on my Steam wish list forever. You know what?
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I probably own it. I'd have to open up Steam right now and check, which I'm not going to do, but yeah, it's reached the point now with Steam where. Look, everybody has this situation with Steam. Everybody I've spoken with, the games are getting into the hundreds, right? Because it's
oh yeah,
you're paying $3, $5, less than $10 a game, and they just pile up, and then, you know, every once in a while you'll play a new one. But for the most part, you've kind of forgotten what you've purchased.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think that the Steam thing is genius when they're like, oh, this many of your games on your wish list are on sale. Like, that's like A-class move.
Oh my God,
right
yeah.
there. That's like genius level marketing.
It really is. I mean, when else am I going to buy Ace of Seafood? Realistically. unless it's on sale on Steam, right? Like, it's a bizarre looking game. And I'm like, $10. I don't know about that. But then once it's $5, you know, it amazes me too. Cause like, dude, the amount of shit that I purchase on a weekly basis, that's like, you know, $10 to $20 that gets, or I always think about McDonald's. McDonald's is the big one, right?
Yeah.
Cause like I can get 2 Steam games for the price of a double Big Mac combo.
Yeah.
And the double Big Mac combo, it never makes me feel good. Why do I do this? Why don't I just like, you know, make lunch that day or what have you? Now, I mean...
Yeah, I justify it to myself in terms of Starbucks coffee because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, every day I should legally be able to spend at least $3 on a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
People show up at my work with Starbucks, and I'm like, I know how much you make. What is going on here?
They just went to like Costco or something and bought a whole bunch of blank cups and put a Starbucks label on it, just to look like they're balling out every day. Like, nah, this is me. This is how I live my life, man. This is me.
You know, it's a weird town up here. Nobody up here owns a BMW or a Mercedes. It's bizarre. Like when I go back to Toronto, there are luxury brand cars left, right, and center. But up here, there just isn't the population to support that kind of thing. So there's no dealership.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if you...
There'd be like one guy who bought one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true though. Like if you see a BMW in town, it's not a BMW, it's the BMW. Oh yeah, it's the BMW. Because there's no dealership here to like repair these cars, and people know like if you move up here and you bring a Mercedes or a BMW, you're kind of SOL. Like you kind of have to hope that the mechanic will have the manual on hand or whatever. We don't have a Mazda dealership, for example, up here, and I know like we're really getting off track. We'll get to the game, I swear. But we don't have a Mazda dealership up here, and I came up with a Mazda. And the mechanic I go to, he's pretty good, all things considered. But there was a situation with I don't know, with the power steering or something on the car, and he had no shame. He told me, he's like, yeah, you know, like I couldn't quite figure this one out. I went over to the Mazda Speed message boards to see if I could, you know, get some. And I was like, are you shitting me, dude? Like, really? You're saying this out loud? To his credit, he fixed it, but I mean, like, holy crap.
I like that there's no problem on Earth that can't be solved by just going to a
message board.
Yeah. It's true, man. Like, how the hell do we still not have world peace?
See, but I'm glad that he's, like, very honest about that, because I can imagine, like, where I live, they would have done that, and then they would have just charged you like an extra $50 on like some service fee that's like nondescript.
Yes,
and it's just like I had to go on 4chan to figure out how to fucking
It's true. It was weird. It was almost endearing, and I kind of realized at that moment that if he's willing to say that out loud, he'll probably be honest about everything else.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've lived up here for 5 years. He hasn't disappointed me yet. So
an honest mechanic. You don't find that anywhere.
No, you don't. I think people up here are just like, they're just too nice, you know, too easygoing. I
think the other thing is if he pisses off one person, then everybody's gonna know the entire town. I figure,
dude, absolutely. There's a dealership here. What the fuck do I care? It's a Subaru dealership. It's the only Subaru dealership. And that guy, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who he has tried to rip off, and myself included, twice. He's tried to sell me a lemon on 2 separate occasions. The lemon, one of them was so bad. So I was taking it out for a test drive, and the car was just constantly veering off to the right. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? Like
That's lane assist, Paul. It keeps you center in your lane.
No, it keeps me going off the curb is what it does. And I'm like having a fight to keep it in the lane. And so I brought it back to him. I'm like, hey man, this is a little bit weird. And he's like, oh yeah, it's probably just the tire pressure. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way this is the tire pressure. But whatever. I took it to the honest mechanic, and the honest mechanic rattled off a list of things that was wrong with it, including like prior accident damage and so on and so forth. And it was so bad, he told me, he's like, yeah, I called the dealer, and he knows him by name because everybody in this town knows everybody by name. And he's like, yeah, I called the dealer. I gave him shit. He really shouldn't be doing this. This is ridiculous. Anyway.
So you bought the car because you were too afraid to say no.
No, no, I never talked to that guy again.
Oh, Lord.
Arnie, tell me what you've been playing lately.
Well, the big one is actually thanks to Anthony. I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much nonstop, finally. I'm like 20 hours in, I think, at this point. And I'm fucking loving it, man. It's so good. It's so good. It's one of those where I'm like, how good could it be after I've done the same thing like 3-4 times?
Yeah.
And then I start playing it and I'm like, it's this good. Like, I'm going to play this forever. That's why I'm kind of...
It is a formula that, like, I do wonder sometimes how it has legs, but...
Yeah. And forever, it's like the smaller things, because the story is always ridiculous and I always appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's always like, what new restaurants have they come up with? Like, what arcade games are in this one?
The arcade games, for sure. Like, I'm always interested to see those.
Which, by the way, Virtual On, the original arcade game, is in Kiwami 2. And I'm like... forever. This is my favorite.
I saw you posted that the other day, right? I think on one of the stories. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. Virtual
It's
On.
amazing.
I think I might just get it just for the Virtual On game. So,
yeah.
Okay, question though. Is Virtual On controlled with the twin sticks on the...
So they give you multiple control options, and one of them is basically like... Because that's not the default control option, but there is like a sort of twin stick option where I think you control it with the left and right stick, and then I think you use the triggers to shoot.
Cool.
So good. Oh my God. Yeah. That kind of kills my... Because I'm going to go to Japan in a couple months for the first time too, by the way. And while I was there, I was going to... I mean, look, let's not kid ourselves. Even if I do find... Dreamcast twin sticks, like I'm not gonna have room in my suitcase for that, right? But I'm gonna pretend until I get there that I'm looking for Dreamcast twin sticks. But now with Kiwami 2 and that twin stick configuration on the DualShock, like I don't even need to anymore, do I?
And then the other arcade game they have is Virtua Fighter 2.
Oh man,
which is also interesting, but not as cool as Virtual On.
No.
But yeah, no, I think we've talked about it before. Sega is just like, I don't know, they love putting their old shit out again. Like they just, wherever they have an excuse to put some old Sega arcade games, they're gonna do it every time.
It's so cool. It's great advertisement, man.
I know.
For those who haven't even seen these games, I mean, it's awesome.
And they have, they always, they add like ridiculous sub-stories, which are the best part of any Yakuza game. I spend more time just like doing all the side stuff than I would ever spend on the actual story. Like the way it always goes is I sit down to play a session and it's like, all right, I'm going to do every side thing that I haven't done yet. And then it's like 3 hours later, I haven't played a story mission. I'm like, well, I guess we'll get to that tomorrow.
Yeah. And I love how noble Kiryu looks during a lot of the ridiculous side stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like in Kiwami, for example, the slot car racing. Like whenever he wins, like how like there's this camera angle that's kind of like below him and he's like raising his hand in victory and he looks so Dude, it's slot cars. You know what I'm saying? Or like when you're playing Mahjong, when I'm playing Mahjong on the giant projector. And he does like a decisive move in the Mahjong game, and it just looks so dramatic, and it's fucking Mahjong, you know?
Yeah. So I want to finish Kiwami 2 because in January, I think it's in January, they're releasing the remastered collection, which has 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And then I managed to get 6 during Black Friday sale. So I'm hoping that by the end of 2020, I will be caught up on the mainline games. And then 7, I'm sure, is coming out sometime around there. And then I also have Judgment, which I got and I need to play. Like, I'm just going to be swimming in Yakuza forever.
You don't feel like this is going to interfere with your finish all the Final Fantasies project?
Oh, I mean, it probably just killed that project altogether.
Small speed bump.
I'm on the last boss of Final Fantasy 1. I need to go back to it. I played it a ton when I was in Korea, when I was like on the plane and stuff. But now I'm stuck in the last dungeon. I need to look up an FAQ. I need a map is what I need.
This is classic Arnie. I made it to the last level and then stopped.
You have no idea how many like actual games that has happened to me with, especially strategy RPGs. Like I think Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. I played that game for like 30, 40 hours, made it to the last boss, can't kill him. I'm just stuck there forever now.
You know, I don't know what it is, man. Like, Anthony, do you have that habit?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I finished any video game, man.
Like,
I mean, you know, because it's trying to juggle the, you know, life and time and all that stuff, you know? So you start playing a game and you get really into it, and then all of a sudden you forget about this game for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And then you almost feel like overwhelmed trying to get back into it because you had the controls down, you knew what you were doing. You get back in and now you're like, your aim is off, your kids are yelling. I mean, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but yelling at you. It's quite intimidating.
I've done it with RPGs before where I will just start the whole game over because I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening anymore.
Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. Like if I haven't played a game in like a month or two, I feel like maybe I should just start from scratch, you know? Yeah. And then I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then I wind up not doing it.
It's just a vicious cycle of punishing myself over and over.
I know, right? Starting over, I just, oh my God.
So yeah, I would rather not finish something.
Yeah, exactly. Than have to face myself.
So what else? What else besides Kiwami 2?
Before Kiwami 2, I finished Trooperbrook, which I had briefly talked about on our Instagram. I'd never heard of this game before.
I'd never heard of it until you posted it.
Somebody else introduced me to it, and then I played it, and I loved it. Like it's basically like a sort of sci-fi mystery point and click adventure type thing. But it's gorgeous. Like the graphics are great. Actually, Benya was explaining to us on Instagram that I guess every background in that game is like they modeled it in real life and then digitized it into the game. And so it looks amazing. But the writing is super funny. The characters are really fun and memorable. The puzzles aren't extremely like convoluted with the exception of like 1 or 2, but it's pretty easy to figure out what you have to do without too much hassle.
Yeah.
And it's a short play. I mean, I think I finished it maybe in like 4 or 5 hours. Like it's not a giant commitment. And it has multiple endings, so you can go and play it again and make different choices.
Yeah.
You were saying
so that one was fun.
And you were saying, Arnie, it was like a good laid back game to play, right? Like something.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that you like when you don't really feel like putting in any effort and like just want to sit back on the couch for a little bit. It's perfect. You just throw it on there, just wander around for a little bit, enjoy the scenery, you know, do a little bit of that.
Does it also take place in Canada?
No, it takes place in Germany, actually.
Slightly less interested.
Paul's disappointed.
Well, I should find a list of games that take place in Canada. And then besides that, well, I was briefly talking about this, but we could talk about it some more. I started playing Hotline Miami yesterday. And here's the thing, is I love this game. Like, the visuals, the music, the, like, setting, it's all super crazy and weird. And I will say the only reason this game works is because the loop is really fun. Like, the going in and killing people and doing all that. The only reason this game works is because it reloads instantly after you die.
Yep.
Like, in a second. And if that wasn't the case, I would hate this game because you die so often. You die all the time. But the fact that it's like you die and then it's like press X and you press X and like within less than a second you're back at the beginning of the level and you're like ready to go again.
Right.
Like that makes it all like just keep moving. If I had to wait even like 3 seconds in between each death, I'd probably be like, okay, this is exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's like that. All right, let me try this one more time.
So in spite of the fact that I probably own it, like, what can you, like, how does this game work? Because I hear about it and I see the pixel art, but I don't quite get how it works from the screenshots.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, the story I can't explain because I'm barely into it myself and it's, like, bonkers off the wall.
Right.
But basically, my understanding is the way mechanically it works, it's kind of like, I would think of it as, like, a puzzle game where you're basically given a room and there's a number of enemies throughout this room. Some of them are unarmed, some of them have melee weapons, some of them have firearms, and you sort of have to figure out how you want to kill everybody. But you die in one hit. Like, if anybody hits you, you're dead.
Yeah.
And so the way you have to figure it out is, like, there are certain mechanics that help you. Like, before each level, you put on a mask, and the masks have different powers. So one of them lets you see secret stuff to get bonuses. One of them makes it so, like, normally, if you don't have a weapon, you only have your fists. When you hit somebody, you knock them to the ground, and then you have to go and, like, beat them until they die.
Yeah.
But if you put on the cheetah mask, then your fists are like melee weapons. And if you punch somebody, like, their head explodes. There's, like, another one that gives you more guns, you know, so on and so forth. And so there's another mechanic where if you hit somebody, if you open a door and you hit somebody with that door, you knock them over. And so, like, let's say there's a room with, like, a guy with a shotgun and a guy with a baseball bat. So normally what I would do is I'd wait for the guy with the gun to walk by the door, open the door, knock him down, go over, beat the guy with the baseball bat to death, and then come back over and beat the guy with the gun before he gets up and shoots me.
Yeah. And I'm assuming then you have, like, a giant inventory of these masks, and it's up to you to decide which one is best suited for that particular level.
Yeah, you have to, before the beginning of each level, you have to pick a mask, and that's the mask that you use during that entire stage.
Right.
And then, based on that, you can, like, go back to stages and play them with different masks to do, like, different things. I like the secret mask because it doesn't give you any bonuses, but it gives you, like, extra stuff, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So it's like it'll make it a little bit harder because you don't have any extra powers, but it's like, but you might find another cool mask, like, lying around that might be even better.
It honestly sounds almost like a more fun version of Metal Gear VR missions.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense.
And it's got that 80s vibe, right? Like a 80s 8-bit
it's
vibe.
Super neon, super, like, 80s. Your guy drives a DeLorean everywhere. Like, you go to the VHS store.
I love that.
Like,
I love that.
super 80s, and it's very trippy. Like, the whole story, like, makes no sense probably until you finish the game. But I think the conceit of it is basically you're a hitman, and so every level starts with you at your apartment, and then you get a message on your answering machine, and they're all code. So one of them is like, we have some pizzas that you need to deliver to this one location, or, like, this is a dating service, we have a hot date for you tonight, like, stuff like that. And so the game is just super silly and, like, really fun.
Right on, man. That sounds very interesting. And you know what else it sounds like? It sounds like it's very quick. Like, I could pick it up, play it for 10-15 minutes if I wanted, and then put it down.
Yeah. And it also, like, has this really intense, like, it's really tense at times, because, like, when you clear a whole room and there's just one room left and there's, like, 2 guys with a shotgun in there, you're like, all right, I think I gotta go in here and hopefully I don't die.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you're doing it all over again. I like that. I mean, I like tension like that in my games.
I will say the one thing that I think might be the reason I think it might be better on PC is because, especially with guns, like your guy has sort of free aim, and the way that I think when you play it on PC, your mouse just controls where your guy is facing and aiming at all times.
Oh, okay.
And the way they've sort of like made up for this in the console is the right stick points you, like automatically moves you in a certain direction, and then if you press R2 you can lock on to the nearest guy, and so that'll keep you like locked onto him. But it's a little bit like, I've definitely fucked it up a few times where I've like hit the wrong button and like faced away from the guy as he like beats me over the head with a crowbar or something.
I've got to try it. You know what? I will, assuming I own it, which I probably do. I'll try it. I'll let you know if the mouse controls operate the way you think they do. Because if they do, that is better. Like, as a general rule, when you want that kind of fine control, like, I'll take the mouse and keyboard all day long.
Oh, yeah.
It's not necessarily the most comfortable way to play. Like, I'd rather sit on my couch and, lean the headrest, like, just kind of lean backwards and stuff and chill while I'm playing my games, other than sitting at a desk. But, for something like this where you need the control, I don't mind. I'll play it at a desk. I mean, I have a computer, I have Steam, I play games on it. It's not, it's not like I'm sitting in a torture chamber or something.
Yeah. And then outside of that, it's just been VR, man. I got Wipeout Omega Collection. I only play it in first person view because why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it. I suck at Wipeout very badly. But that's like that game is pretty forgiving. Like Omega Collection is, at least, where like they give you such a variety of cars to choose from, and they let you don't just necessarily have to win the next race to move on to the thing. They're like, you could do a race, you could do a time trial, you could do a speed run, which is like you have to beat the record time on one lap, but they give you like 7 laps to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, so they give you a lot of options.
Sounds like no, I was gonna say it sounds like F-Zero for babies is what it sounds like.
Yeah, essentially. I believe that because F-Zero is like punishingly difficult.
Wait, did Arnie just freeze up?
Yeah, he did.
No.
Oh.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Am I back now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are now.
I thought like Paul insulted you in a way. You just stood there like,
I know.
I was like, oh damn, Paul, damn.
Did you hear what I said, Arnie?
I've been doing that. Yeah, F-Zero for babies, and I agreed with you. Because I'm also terrible at F-Zero. I'm terrible at racing games in general. I don't know how to drift. I don't understand. The fine art of hand braking is like lost on me. I just like, the wall will stop me and I'll keep turning left, It's
yeah. I mostly wanted to say that because I know Ozzy's, and Jeff too, for that matter.
Yeah.
Neither of them is here, so I can just poop on Wipeout all day long, and
that's right.
And when they hear this later, they'll sit there and they'll seethe, and they can't say anything about it right now.
But yeah, it's been Wipeout, the VR world, Astrobot. I started playing. I meant to tell you about that.
Hey, right on.
That game is fucking delightful,
dude.
That game is so.
Do you not just
delightful.
smile the entire time you're playing Astrobot?
Yes, it's so nice, and it really is like. I was just like. It was the one game that I was like, I wonder if this would work without the VR. And I was just like, there's just something about it that the VR just makes it better for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, the VR makes it possible, right? Like, okay, no, that's incorrect. It would be possible without it because you could use the thumbstick to like move the camera around.
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
could see all the way around you. Okay,
you could make it just
enough.
A platformer.
Yeah. But no, you're right. Like the VR. No, you know what? I'm wrong. You can't just use the stick to just kind of move around because there are, like moving the camera around specifically, because there are sections where like you're kind of peeking around corners to look at, different secrets and places to go.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, but I mean, even on the first level, right? Like if you're moving, moving your head, if you're looking behind you, you can kind of like tilt your head and like look around obstacles in order to find stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, you're right.
That's, I mean, look, that would be possible without the VR. You know, I'm sure that they would find a way to do it. It's not rocket surgery. But with VR, it makes it so much more intuitive. It really is just built for that in that game.
Yeah. And the game, I mean, just overall, the game just is like very bubbly and nice and makes me feel happy, and I kind of hate it. Like, I don't understand why it's not, you know, making me feel angry all the time. But I mean, I like it. It's a change of pace. I'll say that.
That's definitely a VR game I'm looking forward to playing on.
It's super fun.
Next week when I can unwrap
it. But yeah, it's been a lot of like VR demos and trying a bunch of stuff in VR. Yeah. I tried Resi 7 in VR. No. No. And then the only one I haven't tried, which I'm actually kind of curious because I'm not a huge sports fan, but I feel like this would be fun in VR, is Everybody's Golf VR. Like, I'm not a huge golf game guy, but I feel like it'd be fun, especially with the Move controller, if they have like swing control and stuff like that.
Ooh. Yeah, I keep seeing a lot about that game. I guess it's probably one of the more popular VR games right now because they bundle it with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm not a golf guy, but maybe this will sway me.
The only thing that I hear about it that's a little bit weird is that there's like a dating sim built into it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I want.
Sold.
I want to become emotionally invested in my VR golf girlfriend.
Arnie just checked out. You just heard him checking out on the computer on the side. Bought it. Done. Downloading.
Hey, man, before we take a break, though, can I go back to Trooper Brook for a second?
Yes.
So you finished it. How long did it take?
I would say like no more than 4 or 5 hours, probably.
Serious?
Yeah, I think. I could be wrong, but it definitely felt like definitely less than 10 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Well, unless you get stuck on something.
No, that's good to know. Like, I mean, obviously we all prefer, you know, shorter games these days, right?
Yeah.
And like, what was the story about?
It's basically, it's so weird. It's you're a physicist, if I'm not mistaken. You're like some sort of theoretical physicist, and you're coming to Trooper Brook. I think the conceit is like you won a vacation or something to come there, and then you sort of get wrapped up in this like time traveling, dimension hopping sort of adventure where like this guy that you meet came from a different dimension, and now he's trying to get back to his dimension. And you're sort of helping him do all that, and then obviously there's a villain who I can't get into because major spoiler. Yeah.
Palpatine.
Who's yes, it's Emperor Palpatine. Him and Darth Maul came through the dimensional rift.
Damn.
By the way, I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, but you did, right, Anthony?
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday. Ugh, so good.
We're gonna watch it next week. I think I'm gonna warm up by having like kind of like a Star Wars day / afternoon,
right,
where I play Rogue Leader on the GameCube.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah.
I know, I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And after playing Rogue Leader, then I'll go watch the movie, and it's just gonna be, oh god, it's gonna be a great day.
Yeah.
I love that you didn't say Fallen Order. Like you wouldn't play the new Star Wars game that came out. You'd play the GameCube game.
Well, I mean, dude, I know, but it's Rogue Leader. Like it so
is.
good, right? It's that's what I like most about Star Wars. Ever since the original X-Wing on PC, like it's the Starfighter stuff. Like I mean, I'm a big sucker for it. It is what it is.
I mean, the X-Wing has to be like top 10 spaceship of all time.
Dude, top 5, right? Top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't know. The Millennium Falcon is pretty dope.
Okay.
I'll tell you, man, those Rogue Leader, the Squadron games, man, and when they started on the N64 and whatnot, like that's when we weren't getting anything Star Wars. That like we were just still talking about Return of the Jedi. That was it, you know? And then this was the closest we had to anything new content wise for Star Wars. And it was just, and everything at the time, everything we were asking for. We were like, yes, this is it. Yeah.
I will say, if nothing else, the N64 did give me like two of my favorite Star Wars games in Shadows of the Empire and Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to keep talking.
It's not a difficult formula.
No, Shadows of the Empire, I remember like playing that game, and I remember the controls weren't perfect. It was a little clunky at times or whatnot, but just that you were in that Star Wars universe and the storyline alone, I was always like, man, if this was a movie, this would be insane right now, you know?
Yeah. Well, anyhow, with that, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Anthony's going to talk about what he's been playing. All right, everyone, and we're back. And so, Anthony, tell us, what have you been playing?
Oh, man. So, yes, there's been a definite PSVR resurgence in my home. And it seems like it's just contagious amongst the crew.
VR, baby.
Oh, man. So, honestly, man, that's what we've been playing a lot of. And by I say we, like the whole fam over here, like me, the kids, everybody. And it's been hysterical. Yeah. And almost, I don't even know. I don't even know if we're still even talking to each other after some of these games. But, well, the one so we've been playing SUPERHOT. SUPERHOT. You guys played this?
Oh my god!
It's been out for years.
I've played the demo of it, and I really want to buy it, but I can't justify $30 to myself.
I know that's the problem.
But I will do.
Last week, me and Hannah bought a bottle of whiskey, and well, as you know, I bought the game. So actually, my sons have been like really pushing the VR lately, and then it's just gotten us to just all hang out in the room together. And we're playing SUPERHOT, and that game is so much fun though. It's so much fun. Like,
it's ridiculous.
They had like, I don't even know how you would play this not on VR. Like,
because they have a non-VR version, and I didn't know that was a thing. Right. I thought this game was only VR.
I thought the same thing, because then I'm scrolling through my Xbox the other day, and I think one of the Game Pass games was SUPERHOT, and I'm like, oh, let me check this out. I couldn't even figure out what the hell to do. Then here I am. Then we started playing it on the VR, and I'm like, oh, this is so freaking cool. And it's like real quick play sessions. The stages are like 1, 2, 3, and you're just like trying to just kill everybody in the room. But it's the graphics so simplistic, and like, I don't know, man. It's just something about it. I really don't even know how to really describe it. It almost looks like a training, like a training simulator of sorts.
Well, the graphics are like wireframe for the most part. Yeah.
It's like, what if Rez gave you guns?
Right. Yes, that's perfect. But what was good about it is like we were able to just like all sit here, play it. I even got Hannah to play it, and it's just like you forget how crazy VR is until you're watching somebody else play it. Because I'm swinging all over the place. I'm almost knocking over the tree and everything, But I'm thinking I'm like standing still. It's like, oh man, great workout too, by the way.
You gotta hold those poses.
Oh man.
Though that's another thing. Like, it's kind of underrated, but it's not a workout, but like you do kind of work up a little bit of a sweat playing some of these games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Beat Saber was like, you're swinging and dodging, and it just adds that extra, it adds that extra something.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get more satisfaction out of playing a game when you're actually doing something in it, physically, like you're moving around, Not that it's a replacement for working out and stuff, obviously, but it's just fun, to get everybody in the room together. It's become such a party thing in my home now. Just passing around the headset and like just watching what they're doing and making fun of them and just
It's impossible to not want to play VR when you see other people playing VR.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you want a turn. You're like, all right, let me see.
Right.
and then you just get so into.
Yeah, because I was sitting on the couch and they were all taking turns playing it, and then they kind of was just like, "Come on, play," and I'm like, "All right, fine." Once I started, they couldn't get the headset off of me. You know?
Yeah.
And so SUPERHOT, like basically like a first-person shooter, yeah?
Yeah, it's like first person, yeah. And the stages are, you probably got to clear each room, and I would say maybe like 4 or 5 enemies per room from what I played. Mm-hmm. And once you clear that, you just go right into the next one. And like you said, to your point about Hotline Miami, it's great because it resets so quick when you die.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to think about taking the headset off or anything. You just kind of like just keep going. But
well, the big gimmick on SUPERHOT is that like it kind of makes you feel like you're in an action movie because everything only moves when you move.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's the details I forget. Let me mention that too. Yeah, but it's funny because like as long as you're moving, like so I'm playing with the move controllers, and is that every time whenever I move my hands or anything, that's when everybody else starts moving. If I stay still, no one moves. So you kind of got time to kind of just look around the room and kind of see how you want to go about getting whoever you want to get. But then once you start moving your hands or whatnot, that's when you just like, you're throwing stuff at people, you're punching them, grabbing their guns, It's really cool. And they did I keep saying this, but PlayStation really did a great job with reinventing those move controllers, man. Repurposing those things, Because it's really, really good the way they integrated into this game, at least, So yeah, that was last weekend. We were stuck in the living room and we just playing SUPERHOT.
Yeah.
And
yeah, to your point about the move controllers, it really is like the comeback story of this generation, I feel. Really like once mocked for just being like discount Wiimotes, now like I would argue an essential part of Sony's best accessory
ever.
Like of this current gen, probably.
The move controllers help a lot.
Yeah, you couldn't even give these things away. Before, a few years ago, you couldn't get. Now they're more expensive than they've ever been in the retail stores. Yeah. Not even on eBay. Just you go to Best Buy, $100. Here you go.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. And they were what? They were like $25 when they first came out.
I mean, I used to see them at Goodwills and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like alongside Guitar Hero guitars and Rock Band drum sets. There's always a couple of move controllers.
Oh, it's insane, man. So good. Kudos to them, man, for just taking that and just reusing it, Yeah. Because they could have just given up on it completely. I mean, I think everybody else did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, good on them. I think we've mentioned this on the show before, but like, I'm impressed, man. Like, I gotta be honest. Like, when Sony first talked about VR on the PS4, I was like, whatever. Like, yet another accessory that's just gonna not be supported.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but they've done a good job. The games are out there, they're good, and it's worth it. It's like it's not a small investment at first. Like, it's not a cheap accessory by any stretch,
right?
No.
But it really does offer something unique, and they're supporting it.
That's the main thing.
Now,
sorry, Arnie. But that's the main thing, though. The support they're getting for it. That you're getting for the VR,
Yeah. I mean, we've said it before, but now is the time. The library is there. Like, that was my hesitation at first, is like, there were 2 or 3 really good games for it, but I was like, I mean, they could stop making games for this thing tomorrow.
Exactly.
But now there's like an actual library of, not only indie games, but like retail release games that have VR support, and Sony's really looking to push this. I mean, we've talked about the fact they're probably releasing a new version of it for the PS5 at some point. So, get on it while you can.
Probably, I mean, I'm trying to just go over in my head real quick, but like, it's probably got to be the most successful add-on accessory to a console, right? Like, in terms of
this gen, probably.
I think almost any gen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about it. Think about going back, right? Like, the PS3 and the 360, we had Kinect?
Right. And
the Move.
Right.
So that was no good. Yeah, the Eye. Eye of Judgment was awesome, but like, that's about it. Yeah. And on the PS2, it was like the add-on.
The iToy.
Yeah, like, and then, 32-bit era, there was pretty much nothing. We had Rumble packs for the N64. That doesn't even count.
Right.
Oh,
And
Don't be hating on the Rumble packs.
And then like the 32X,
right?
Which, you know,
yeah.
That's an entire.
You're forgetting about a little thing called the Sega-CD, my friend.
Well, that, you know, you can kind of argue that that's like an entire system, but then again, you could argue the same thing about VR. It's not, you know, it's priced like
it really is. Yeah.
I mean, you still need the main console to play that game. Even with Sega-CD, you needed the Genesis. With this, you need the PS4. So I consider it kind of like an add-on kind of thing, but just like probably one of the more expensive add-ons, but at the same time, one of the most successful, which is crazy. Expensive at first, initially, right? I mean, you know, $400 at first at launch.
Yeah.
But
think about it this way. You can play Sewer Shark or you can play Beat Saber.
Oh,
that choice is yours.
I know, but like Sewer Shark is so bad, it's good.
Where's my PSVR remake of Sewer Shark? Where's the? Where do I sign up for that one? They brought Night Trap back. Why can't they bring Sewer Shark back?
Man, when you think about it, you know what? I think I'm pretty confident now saying the PSVR is more successful than the Sega-CD. I think we've got like history's best add-on.
Oh yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, guys. Good talk.
Well, another crisis averted.
Oh man. So anyway, what have I been playing? So sticking with VR, the other thing we've been playing is a little game. I think I've mentioned this to you before, but we just got to playing it last week, everybody, and it was I don't know, man. We almost just got into arguments. It's called Keep Talking and or Everybody Explodes.
Oh yes.
Boy.
And I've been meaning to buy this.
Oh man, you have to be you should really play this game with mild-mannered people. And people that know how to follow instructions, because otherwise at one point, I just caught a bitch fit and just sat there not talking to anybody, not giving anybody instructions. I was like, go ahead, blow up, motherfucker, blow up. I was like, don't want to listen to me? Fine, go. But I've been trying to think about how to describe this game to someone. You know, like yesterday we were thinking about the episode, and I'm like, how do I describe this game? So it's definitely a game where you need more than one person, but you can have a room full of people. One person wears a VR headset, and they see the bomb, right? They see there's several different bomb/puzzles that are presented, and they have to describe what it looks like. Everybody sitting on the couch with the regular controller has an instruction manual on the screen. They're looking at the instruction manual on the screen. And they have to flip the pages to figure out what bomb he's talking about, because there's instructions to defuse every single bomb. And it becomes like a puzzle game. But when you have multiple people in the room and you're asking questions to the guy with the bomb, like, what color's the wire? It's yellow. Okay, yellow. You got to cut. No, it says yellow. He's got yellow. He doesn't have red. It's yellow. It's like this whole sequence of things. And I was just like, go ahead, motherfuckers, die. I don't care. Go ahead.
I love these kind of games. I really need to get this one, because any kind of game that's like sort of a new concept, I'm all over. Like, it's the reason that Beat Saber was such a hit for me last year. It was just new. Right. It was a really fresh take on that kind of, you know, on the rhythm genre, right? Yeah. And so something like this, what is it? Is it Keep Talking or Everybody Dies?
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, I think. Or no, Keep Talking or Everybody Explodes, something like that.
Hold on, let me confirm.
Yeah,
we got. No, it's funny because no one ever really knows exactly.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
That's literally the opposite of what I said, which was Keep Talking and Everybody Dies.
Oh man, but yeah, man, it's I think it was one of the first VR games I bought, only because like I was looking for the cheaper digital products, you know, like I just wanted some stuff to like, you know, what do you call it? Validate my purchase, you know? So that was definitely one of the games I found that when I just kept looking at reviews that were like, yo, you got to check this game, check this. And one of the best purchases I ever made. I don't think it's more than $10 when it's not on sale.
I saw it was $5 on Steam. I'm trying to find it on PSVR.
Yeah, I think
I'm buying it tonight. I'm buying it tonight. Screw it.
Like I said, I don't think it's more than 10. But if there's that PSVR sale going on right now, like you probably get it for like $5-$6, and it's best money spent for the VR.
It's currently 50% off on PS, and it's $7.49.
Okay. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. So like $30 Canadian, but whatever. I can eat that.
No Starbucks.
Like I literally asked my wife yesterday, I'm like, do we have plans Sunday night? And she said no. And I was like, awesome. Right. I love not having plans. And I think this sounds like a good way to spend the evening. I'm gonna buy it, especially if it's on sale. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
It's so damn good. You might hate each other afterwards for a little bit, but hey,
we already hate each other. It's fine.
I was gonna say they survived Overcooked. I think they'll make it through. Keep talking and nobody explodes.
Keep talking and everybody dies. Oh man,
that's what they call it in Canada. That's all.
Hey Anthony, can I make do you like Star Trek?
Star Trek, like the newer kind of Star Trek, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah, Star Trek, yeah.
Because I'm gonna make a recommendation. It's not Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, because it's not local, but in VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh yeah,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, wait for that one to go on sale. And then come find me to play online.
Oh, you can play that online, really? It's
dude, you have to play it online.
Oh, I had no idea.
You basically there's basically 4 roles, right? One person's the captain, and then one person's engineer, helm, and something else I don't remember. But like based on the mission, the captain kind of gives orders to everybody else, and everybody else kind of like operates their little Star Trek consoles and executes the orders.
Oh man!
And right. So it, Keep Talking and Everybody Dies made me think about that, and it's very similar. I mean, I'm kind of talking myself out of it in my head now because you do kind of lose the local, the local fun, which is really kind of the point of Keep Talking and Everybody Dies,
right?
But
right.
That kind of new VR enabled gaming experience, Star Trek Bridge Crew, highly recommend. That said, probably want to wait for it to go on sale. It's like a full priced game. It's
I think if we get Ozzy on board, we could have the SS RFG.
Oh my god, that!
Oh boy! Boy!
End the show.
That would be such a great live stream.
That would be one that I could get behind. I know Ozzy every once in a while talks about doing like live streams, and I'm like, man,
no, I think this is the way to do it.
We already do so much work, but
this is the way to do it. A live stream of us playing Star Trek in VR. Oh man,
yeah,
that sounds so awesome.
Just us with our big dumb headsets on.
But
anything else there?
Other than that, man, I've been pretty busy. The only other thing I bought for myself recently, because it was like that crazy Black Friday sales, was I got my sports games. I got my NBA 2K and my NFL, my Madden. I played like 2 minutes of each game, and I'm like, all right, glad I got this on sale. I'm good.
Do they have Daniel Jones in the new Madden game?
I didn't even dig that deep into it, man. Actually, wait a minute. I think I did, because I played a game with the Giants. So I had Danny Dimes in there. He threw 4 interceptions. So I was like, pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Okay.
Pretty accurate. Is there like a cheating mode when you pick the Patriots?
Yeah.
How do we?
You can either play as the team or you can play as the videographer and film the other sideline.
That's in the GM mode. You go to the GM mode and be like,
that's the extra DLC. They'll charge you a couple bucks for that one.
Did you guys see the video they released of the guy getting caught videotaping this stuff?
No.
Yeah.
One of the best things I've ever seen in my life. He's like, but
I'm assuming it's like when you get caught in a movie theater filming the movie.
That's exactly what it was like.
What? Yeah. What happened?
No. Arnie, if you didn't see it, you just everything you just said right now sounded like you saw the video, because that's exactly what happened. He was just like, we could just delete this. He goes, nah, man, it's too late. And you can tell. I could just,
I could just hit delete right now. Like I
didn't see what the security guard looked like, but I could kind of make sense in my head of what it was. this big, bulking, 300-pound black dude was just like, nah, man, it's too late, bro. Get that out of here. Let's go. You done. I was like, oh, shit.
So good.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, I've tried in my life to defend the Patriots, right? Because they just keep winning, right? But this, I'm just kind of like, you're on your own, man. You're on your own.
The only thing you can say, the only thing you can bust out here is if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's like the only thing someone can say. And then the obvious response to that is, yeah, but you're fucking cheating.
Nah, the only aspect of that whole thing that made me really mad is why the fuck weren't we filming the Ravens instead of the goddamn Bengals? Like,
that is true. The Bengals and the Browns, right? The Bengals and the Browns. I'm
yeah,
like,
I was like, if we're gonna cheat, why wouldn't we cheat against the good team?
I don't know, man. Maybe they were just like figuring out the cheating thing and didn't want to get caught, so they picked the least likely suspect to video.
I think this was them playing 4D chess against nobody. Like, they were like, we're 7 moves ahead.
You want to talk about a good VR addition to a Madden game? That would be it right there.
Oh,
try to record and don't get caught. That would be like the mode.
It's like
it's such a shame that the NFL would be extremely uptight about that, because I'm telling you, like, if they put something like that in a Madden game, I would go buy the Madden game. And not only that, it would get people talking about Madden, because like nobody talks about Madden anymore. It's like, oh, new Madden game, blah, blah, blah. Who cares, right? I'll get it on sale.
Right.
But if they put the cheating videographer mode, are you kidding me? I would buy that.
Yeah. I wish, like, I think we talked about this in our sports game episode, but, like, why can't there be a mode, like, when I have my own player, why can't I, like, go on Twitter and say something, like, extremely inappropriate? You know what I mean? Like, give me that Antonio Brown mode. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, like, I used to love getting my sports games every year, and man, every time I play a new Madden game, I don't even play the season anymore. It's just so vanilla now. It's just, there's no improvement. I used to be really big when I would play my sports games, and I'm talking like on the 16-bit era. That's when I really started playing these sports games. I used to be huge into the presentation aspects of these games, right? I wanted to feel like I was actually watching a TV presentation, When we went to the when we skipped to the next, the next few generations of consoles, that's how I felt with the 2K games. But like once 2K got bought out, Madden took over, and they just don't deliver on just a simple presentation that I want to see in a video game, And it sucks because it's the same game every year. I don't know, man. I don't know how long they're going to keep going with this for,
they almost can't. Like, they almost can't deliver. There's just no...
Right.
It's human nature, right? Like, if you go to work and you do a good job, but like, that fire is not under them, clearly, right? Like, the competition is just not driving them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really too bad. And it's funny, I just saw, and I think you saw this too, Anthony, on Instagram, Cyberpunk 237 did a post about ESPN NFL 2K5 on the Xbox. Yeah,
and I commented on it because he posted it, and whenever I see anybody post anything about ESPN NFL 2K5, that just... my heart, because that to me to this day is the pinnacle of how like a video game should be, a sports game rather. The presentation on that game still hasn't been matched by Madden. Presentation, and it was just a much more fun game, and I don't know, I haven't seen any improvement on that formula since.
I wonder if I'll have to ask him, because he seems like he's really, really into it. But I wonder if you can get, because the Xbox has a hard drive and so on and so forth, if there's a way to kind of like finagle new rosters into that game.
Yeah, like, because they do it with, don't they do that with Tecmo? Like, isn't there...
Yeah.
They like have a thing where every year they release updated rosters.
No, there's got to be somewhere. Let's check a message board, shall we? Yo, if they can do that with Tecmo Bowl, then they got to be able to do that with ESPN 2K5, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good point.
But that's a good thing. Yeah, I really do want to check a message board now and see if there's a roster update.
Well,
there might be.
We'll probably do that after the show because I think you checking the message board right now, probably not good pod.
Just 5-10 minutes of just Anthony clicking away on his keyboard.
Hold on, guys. I'm almost there, guys. Almost got it.
In reality, he does it for like 10 seconds and then a notification distracts him and then he forgets why he's holding his phone at all. Anyhow, unless you got something else, Ant, I think we'll take a break.
Yeah, no, that was it for me, man. I'm good.
All right, we'll be back in a minute, and then I'll talk about what I've been playing. All right, everyone, and we're back. And so I guess it's my turn. And Anthony, I got to tell you, I've been looking forward to this because I know I've been nagging you a little bit on our chat threads. But dude, especially hearing you talk about like playing games with your family, you got to get Killer Queen Black.
Yeah, man. I know.
I want to hear about this. I haven't looked anything
I definitely
up yet.
do too because Well, go ahead, Paul. You talk about it first, and then...
Yeah. So I got this game on the Switch, I don't know, late October, and I didn't actually play it until late November. I was never going to play it single player. It's just not that kind of game, right? So late in November, I went to a buddy's house, and I brought Killer Queen, and we loaded it up, and we played it. And after about 15 minutes... I looked at him and I was like, hey, this game's really good, right? Like, it's not just me. And he looks at me and he's like, dude, I'm going to buy it right now. And he bought it immediately. Like he went onto the Nintendo store and he's like, I'm downloading this immediately. So basically it's, we make a joke about it now because I have a couple buddies who came over last week and the week before to play and they had never even heard of it. And kind of like the catchphrase now that we throw it all the time is, you've never played anything like it before. And I can tell you both, you've never played anything like it before. So it's a single screen, 2D, platforming kind of online versus strategy game. A lot of words.
Definitely never played anything like it before.
No, you haven't. See... So basically, you have 2 teams of 4, and the rest of your team can be filled out with bots as need be. But as far as the Switch game is concerned, it's all online. So you can get paired up with, some random person, or you can get paired up with a bot. And each team has 3 workers and a queen. And there's 3 ways to win each round. Each match is best out of 5. You can win a round by collecting 12 berries and filling your hive with berries. You can win a game by killing the opposing queen 3 times, or you can win a game by riding the snail past your goalposts. I know, it sounds completely
Everything
ridiculous.
That you're saying makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense. No, and you're right, it doesn't. But like, here's the thing. It's so easy to pick up and play, right? Like anybody can just pick it up and within 10 minutes it's like, okay, I get it, right? So it does that kind of magical thing where anybody can pick it up, play it immediately, but there's so much depth to it. It's absolutely incredible. There's a lot of skill involved when you're playing against, when you play against good players online and you're like, oh my God, like this is next level, the kind of stuff they're doing. Yeah. There's a lot of depth there. But mainly, it's so much fun when you're playing it with a group of friends because it does this thing because all the information is presented to you on your screen, right? There's nothing hidden. You can see the snail. You can see your opponent's hive and how many berries they have and how close they are to winning, you can see how many lives the queens have left. The genius of the game is that it's really hard to like focus on everything at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is like you're in this intense game, you know, both queens are almost dead. They each have only one life left. You know, everybody's kind of collecting berries. And then meanwhile, you're not noticing the snail. And somebody on the opposing team was like, I'm going to see if I can sneak that snail through. And then finally, somebody on your team looks up and they see the snail is like 80% of the way to the finish line.
Oh, man.
And then your team starts freaking out. Somebody's like, snail, snail, snail. And it's like, oh my God. And then you have to like, and then the queen has to go commit themselves to stopping the snail. But then that leaves the queen vulnerable to counterattack. So she might die and you lose the game that way. It's bonkers.
Wow.
It's absolutely bonkers. And when you're playing in a room with your friends and playing online, it gets so intense, man. And you're trash talking too, because like in my play group, there's two of us who like to be queen, and then there's two guys who just want to be workers. They don't want anything to do with the queen. Dude, it's so much pressure being queen. It's so much pressure. Because if you get killed 3 times, the rest of your team in that room is going to look at you. And they're going to be like, yo, what the fuck? You couldn't stay alive? And
you had one job.
You had one job. But in reality, the queen has so many jobs, right? Like the queen has to keep an eye on the snail. The queen has to, on each level, there's 3 weapon pods. And so at the beginning of each level, a worker can grab a berry, go into the weapon pod, and grab a weapon to help out the queen, right? But if the opposing team, if their queen touches one of those weapon pods, then you can't use it.
Oh.
Until your queen then touches the weapon pod.
Oh my God.
And then you can use it again. So you have queens like running around touching these weapon pods. And if the opponent has got all the weapon pods, like your team in the room there with you, they're going to lose their minds. Yo, we need weapons. What are you doing? We need And you're like, I'm just trying to stay. And like, it's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So like when I think of you, Anthony, and you're playing games with your boys, I'm like, this is kind of the ultimate game that you guys have to play together.
No, this sounds amazing.
This man wants to end your whole family.
Hey, got to see how strong we stick together.
It's just an absolutely brilliant, simple design. I had heard about it some time ago because like, I'm assuming because you guys have never, every time I mention this game, you guys kind of have blank looks on your faces. I can see it through the phone, I swear.
Yeah.
But this game was actually originally made in 2013. There's this company called Bumblebear Games, and they kind of specialize.
Amazing name.
I know, right? Great name. And they kind of specialize in these like live multiplayer-ish arcade experiences. Okay. So the actual game Killer Queen, it's got like this, sort of mythic status. There's only 90 of these arcade cabinets in North America.
Oh.
Yeah. And the arcade cabinets aren't 8 players, they're 10. And it actually requires 2 cabinets. So you have like one team on one cabinet and one team on the other.
Oh, wow.
But you all see the same screen. Right? Yeah. You each have your own screen, but the information displayed on them is the same. And so it's kind of achieved this like cult status. There's leagues built around it. These barcades, they buy the cabinet, people show up. It's crazy, right? Like you're drinking, you're playing Killer Queen, people are shouting. And I'm telling you, man, people shout. Like we're sitting in my basement and we're like yelling and swearing. And I kid, like we're falling off of our chairs. Like my buddy who was playing Queen once, and it was such a tight game. And then he just took it right up the ass from the other queen. Like, because when you die, like when you lose your last life, the screen zooms in on the death shot, and you can see like the opposing team, like their queen, the sword was just like right on his butt. And we were like, oh, and he like slides off his chair and he's holding his head and he's like, oh, I can't believe this. It's so good.
Man, Paul.
And so yeah, like it's this weird thing, right? Like there's only 90 of these cabinets in the US. It's just a brilliant and simple design. The graphics have been updated a little bit for the Switch. It's still, it's still pixel art, but it looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
The presentation's a little bit better. And the dream now is to play it locally. If you have 2 Switches and 2 copies of the game, you can play 8 players. So that's kind of the dream now, is to get 8 people together in my basement and play on the big screen and just like collectively lose our shit.
So do you just play with one Joy-Con?
You mean one per person?
Each player just plays with a single Joy-Con? Okay.
Yeah, you can totally do that. The game has like 3 buttons. So, it's not terribly complicated, right? Like you can jump, and if you're holding a berry, you can throw it. And then the rest of the buttons are for like emotes and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, man. It's funny, but when you mentioned it, I saw it as one of the Black Friday game sales, right? But I knew nothing about this game. I was like, what is this? I don't know. This looks weird, I looked at the screenshots. I was like, okay, I really don't know what this is about. When Paul mentioned it the other day, I was like, oh man, I know exactly what game he's talking about. That's the game I didn't get. It's like the one game I didn't get for Black Friday, apparently.
Oh my God. I wish I had mentioned it sooner. Because it was around, it was just before Black Friday that I had quote unquote discovered it.
Right.
And realized that I had to spread the gospel here. This is the best multiplayer game I've played in years. In years.
I know it's still on sale. I think I might wind up picking it up anyway, man. It's like $20 on the Switch. It's supposed to come out on the Xbox One through Game Pass, but I don't know when that is. They don't really have a release date. But Pulse has got me.
That's the problem.
Pulse has got me so amped right now because I'm gonna be home not this week, but the following week. I'm gonna be home all week with everybody, and it just sounds like the perfect time to really get into this game.
You have to.
Yeah, man.
You have
I think
to.
I'm gonna bite it.
It will
bite it.
It will not disappoint you. I've been trying to whenever I introduce somebody new to it, and I've introduced about 4 people to it now, I try to downplay it. What I do is I just tell them you've never played anything like it before. Just give it a shot. It's pretty simple. You might enjoy it, is what I tell people. And then within 20 minutes, they're into it. You know what I mean? And it's no fail every single time. And 2 hours later, we're sitting there and we're like, this game is so good. I can't believe it. I'm collecting berries. This game is unbelievable.
Listen, man, just another live stream option. Just putting it out there if everyone gets this game.
I've thought about that. Really, I've thought about hooking up a camera and watching us play Killer. I can't, dude. It's so intense, and the language that we use is so deplorable. My wife was upstairs with a friend of hers watching TV. And just kind of chatting. They were watching some kind of rom-com nonsense, and and she had to come and close the basement door because we were just losing our minds. So yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough. And when we go to New York next year, when Jeff and I go to New York and hang out with you guys, Bumble Bear, they do have other games, and I think that they do.
I have to imagine that if there's one place in America that would have one of their cabinets, it would be New York City.
There will 100% be a Killer Queen cabinet in NYC. I don't think that'll be... maybe it would be better for us. I don't know, because we can play it, together online. The experience is similar, but I guess at a bar it would also be really cool. But they also do other games that are communal, up to 30 people on one screen.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? You pay $5 for half an hour or something. And again, I have to assume that if that kind of thing is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in NYC. When the dates come closer, we got to look this up.
Yeah, I have a friend, actually my Hannah's one of her friends, he manages a barcade here in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll find out. I'll do some research, see what they got.
Yeah. See what they got. And I mean, if they don't, they don't, right? I said, the Switch version is not okay. Me personally, not having played the original and only ever heard about it, I don't know, man. The Switch version, I think, is perfect.
I think the Switch version is suffice. I think that's fine. You know?
Yeah.
I think, Arnie, you just got to get a Switch now. That's the pressure's on now.
Could this be
I made the very difficult choice this month where I was like, I get PSVR or I could finally get a Switch. And I got PSVR.
We're getting there.
And I mean, you know, like, I can't necessarily fault you for it. Right. But when you said you got PSVR, the first thing, Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first thing every single one of us thought was, you didn't get a Switch?
I will get it. I promise you all that I will get it.
Well, if this doesn't convince you to, I don't know what will. Yeah. So yeah, that's
lucky for me because it's Nintendo. All the main party games will still be just as expensive as if I had gotten it 2 years ago. So I'll have the same experience you all had.
Perhaps. I will say Killer Queen is a budget title. It's it's like $30 US, you know, $100 Canadian or whatever. And
whatever the conversion is. Canada's economy is really, really going downhill every time you get on this podcast.
You know, there are reasons, and that would not make for an exciting podcast. So we'll just leave the joke as is. So yeah, besides Killer Queen,
yeah, what else is going on?
You know, our NBA Jam episode that we did some time ago. Mm-hmm. First of all, super happy with that episode, not just because of the finished product. You know, we took a subject that, you know, not too many people talk about, right? Sports games generally are almost taboo to talk about. But I had a lot of fun doing that one. I always loved NBA Jam. And when I looked at the download numbers, it's like it's probably like top 5, one of our most popular episodes.
Like yeah.
So it's just kind of nice to know that, like, oh, cool, other people like NBA Jam too.
Yeah. Every time we do an episode that we're just like, I don't know if people are going to want to listen to this, without fail, it's always like the most popular thing ever.
Yeah,
proving conclusively that we have no idea what we're doing.
Oh my God, we have no idea. Honestly, like every time I look at what's popular, you know, from what we've done, I'm like, really? Really?
I mean, Phantasy Star is like our second most downloaded episode ever, so that's gotta feel good.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you guys might have doubted that, but I had no doubt, man. People who love Phantasy Star love Phantasy Star. They'll rap.
That's fair.
But yeah, the NBA Jam episode, like, it just got me wanting to play that kind of game, right? Whether it's the OG or whether it's some kind of updated version or what have you. And so a buddy of mine, he was playing this is like the worst title. They gotta do something about this. NBA2K Playgrounds 2.
Oh yeah. I've been curious about those games.
Yeah, I played the original NBA Playgrounds a couple years ago. It was fun. And so now there's this new version. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give this a shot, you know, because the original NBA Playgrounds I played for like an hour and that was it. And it was fun and I never went back to it. But I figured with 2K22, I could, you know, invest a little bit more time into it, really kind of learn how to, because there's like a whole bunch of moves you can do, like these crazy alley-oops and so on and so forth, and just kind of learn how to do that. You know, I have to say, I was skeptical going into it. It's great. It's fun.
Okay.
The reviews online are mixed, and I see and I read the bad ones just to like, am I missing something here? Like, should I not like this game?
Right.
But I don't really agree with the bad reviews. Like, the game is fun. It takes the NBA Jam formula basically and just kind of like levels it up a bit, right? The player characters are super, super recognizable. They have the super deformed heads, so giant heads. When you're controlling Steph Curry, you know it's Steph Curry, right? There's no doubt about it. And I mean, the game, it has flaws, but it's still super fun, man. The controls are good. Dunking is easy. Everything about it is ridiculous. It also has a little bit of randomness to it that I like. So whenever you go on a bit of a streak, like whenever you're doing well, every time you block a shot, steal the ball, et cetera, you have a meter that goes up.
Okay.
And when the meter fills, you get what they call a lottery pick.
Okay.
And you laugh.
No.
And I laugh too, because basically the lottery pick is like a bonus. You can get like double score dunks for 30 seconds. You can get like super speed for 30 seconds, max stats, double score on 3-pointers or whatever, right? It's always something beneficial to you.
Yeah.
And why would they call that a lottery
That's so
pick?
awesome. I love that they call it the lottery pick. That's great.
But the lottery pick is traditionally a reward for sucking.
Yeah.
If you're an NBA team, the more you suck, the better your lottery pick is.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they call it something else?
I feel like that might be a cool mechanic. Like if you're falling way far behind, like if you're really bad, then you get like a little bonus to help you out.
A little bit of
the
rubber
purple
banding,
shell in Mario Kart.
Yeah, the blue shell. Yeah. And it's still 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's 2-on-2.
Do you have like is it like if I pick the Warriors, am I always playing like Steph and Clay, or do I get to pick like 2 people?
You get to pick whoever you want. Like if you're playing if you're playing against like a friend or something, you can pick 2 players from 2 different teams.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, each roster has like 13 to 18 players, and the players span generations. So you can play as Wilt Chamberlain, you can play as Shaq.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can play just about anybody.
I can finally have Shaq and Jordan together at last.
You can play as Shaq and Kobe. If you're a Toronto fan, you can play as Carter and McGrady.
I was gonna say
the pair that never was. Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you can play as Kawhi and another Kawhi.
You know what? You actually can, because there are different versions of each player as well, right?
Oh, gotcha.
You can play as Orlando Shaq, you can play as Lakers Shaq.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they kind of have different stats as well.
Yeah.
Based on where they were in their career. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The only problem, and I mean, people look at this different ways, I suppose, is that the players all have to be unlocked, and they're unlocked via a loot box formula. So the more you play, the more you score, the more you win. You get you get baller points, and then with the baller
now
points,
that's a good name right there.
That almost makes up for the lottery pick nonsense. But yeah, you get baller points, and with the baller points, you can buy packs. And each pack contains 5 cards, 5 players basically.
Yeah.
And so
you can get repeats.
You can absolutely get repeats. And if you do get repeats, then the player gets some XP and they level up their stats, which is another really cool thing about this game is the fact you can level up the players, and it just gives you a little bit of, extra juice to want to play the game, right? Because you want to max out. Like I got James Harden really early. Yeah. And also, there's OKC James Harden and Rockets James Harden.
Hell yeah.
And Rockets James Harden is like top tier.
Is like ridiculous.
Yeah. And so I was like, I got James Harden. Like, I got to max this guy out so I can use him online. And that's what I did. And it encouraged me to play more. And then I got more baller points. And then I got more packs. And it just kind of, snowballs from there, right?
Yeah. Paul, I'm sorry.
When you unlock a player, do you get all the versions of that player?
No.
Or just okay.
That's what's cool about it. But Paul, can you create your own player?
I don't know. I never tried.
I think Romalo Leonard double team would be.
I gotta be honest. I'm a pretty underwhelming basketball player. I don't know if I want to play as myself.
I never create my own self in a video game, but I'm always curious as to like if that's an option in the game.
Yeah. I mean, like
they didn't call you Vanilla Thunder on the court.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
They call me the freaking Rican.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's fun. Like I said, it's flawed, right? There are flaws. The whole loot box aspect is, it's irritating, right? Like if you really want to play as Michael Jordan, then you're going to be either stuck for a while, you're either going to get really lucky, or you're going to have to just straight up purchase him via a microtransaction, right?
Yeah, but at least you have the options, though.
At least you have the options, right? And I mean, it is a budget game, right? Like it's not a full priced $80 game, so paying $15 or however. I never actually looked up how much it costs, but I'm assuming it's like $15 or something. You can unlock everybody.
Yeah, I just looked it up now, and it's I guess it's on sale right now for $15, regularly $20. So I guess it's up to buyer beware. Like if you all the consoles $15 right now. So it's like buyer beware. Like if you want to pay $15 and then pay another $15 to get all this other stuff, so be it.
Yeah. Or you can just like have fun with I mean, if you're if you're a hardcore basketball nut, then you'll have fun without unlocking everybody, because at some point very early you will unlock a great player, right? Like I unlocked James Harden almost immediately, and I unlocked Toronto era Vince Carter almost immediately.
That's so cool, though.
It really is, cool. Right?
I think the fact that they dug that deep, like the fact that they went all the way back, makes it even more appealing. Because, like, that's what you never got in NBA Jam. Like, you never got people like Wilt, people like Oscar Robinson. If
he's absolutely in there, yeah.
Like, some of the legends that you never got to play as. So that's fun little add-on for sure.
Yeah, it is. I really like that aspect of it. And the older players, like, they all wear the nut huggers, too.
So, like, yes! Perfect!
I know, it's great. It's so much fun to see.
But it's cool too, because like it doesn't look like they're releasing this annually. It looks like the Playground Suite came out last year, so at least they're not doing that whole Madden thing, NBA 2K thing, where they just release every year and you're not really getting too much of an improvement. At least they're releasing the rosters, I guess, throughout the year, or extra players that you can buy, whatnot. So at least you have time to just absorb the game itself.
Yeah, I hope that they do. Update it, make a new version or whatever. But I'm also very happy with the fact that it's not annually.
Yeah.
I just don't need this game every year.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the next one should be on the next consoles, just push it back to the next console. At least you'll see enough of an improvement at that point for it to warrant a new purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. So good for developed by Saber Interactive, I think. And good for them. I mean, just kind of looking at the rest of the games that they've been working on, a lot of kind of budget stuff, a lot of hit and miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I don't know, man. I think they kind of nailed it with this one. And the thing is, it can be improved, right? Like the 3-point shooting, there's almost no point. Like you basically go for the 3 if you're down by 3 right at the end of the game. Other than that, there's kind of no reason to do it, just because the percentages for them are so low. Like you're almost always better off going for a dunk, because the dunks are almost 100% and you're guaranteed the 2 points. But even if you've maxed out Steph, you're only going to have like maybe a coin flip chance of hitting a 3, unless you hit it perfectly. So, the 3-point shot probably could use a little bit of tweaking, and the announcers are, they're not so great. Like there's like the standard white dude, Chris Rock sounding black guy combo, and it's like, I could kind of do with upgrades to both of those guys, right? Like, I think the problem with them is that they go crazy for mundane nonsense. Like if I grab a rebound, it's like I just dunked over everybody. You know what I mean? Like
that's not okay.
And there's a lot of that kind of stuff. So I think if they kind of like, the problem is that it's a budget title, right? Like if you ponied up the cash and got like a real, announcer to do this stuff, it would be better, but it'd probably be more expensive too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's always fun, with every year you get new players in. I'm sure they'll add Luka and Zion and all these.
Luka's already in.
Cool new players that are coming in. Oh, okay.
Zion's on the bench. You can't unlock him.
Oh no. Oh jeez.
Well, there goes that guest spot.
Yeah. Not getting him on the show now.
So this is funny because, like, as we've been talking, Paul's choices for games, I've added them to my cart. And I'm just kind of like convincing myself, like, I'll just wait. And I'm like, the devil on my other shoulder's like, no, you're gonna buy this today.
Make no mistake, though, out of everything I talk about today,
Killer Queen.
Killer Queen. Like, there's no doubt about it. Playgrounds 2 is fun and all that, but, like, dude, Killer Queen is what you need to get. And I think I got time for one more if you guys are okay.
Yeah.
The most pleasant surprise I think I've had this year, gaming-wise, River City Girls.
Oh, yes, man. You were talking about that.
I've been so curious about this.
That one, all these games on the Switch I've been playing, by the way. River City Girls on the Switch, finally got around to playing it. It is the best River City / Kunio game I've played since the original. It has it's developed by Way Forward, first of all. So, at this point with Way Forward, I just kind of like, I have an expectation now of high quality. They rarely punt these days on a game. And River City Girls just really, it reaches the bar. It reaches the bar. The problem with these kind of beat 'em ups nowadays, we've talked about this before, is the repetitive nature, right? Punch, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick. That formula gets kind of old. But River City Girls does this thing where, first of all, the punches, the kicks, they're very satisfying. They have that Streets of Rage 2 quality where it has that like nice sound effect when you connect. Everything feels very meaty. You know what I mean? Meaty. Have I ever described a game as meaty before? What am I doing here? But you do, like, you feel it when you hit the guys. And because it's a River City game, as you progress, you collect money, you can purchase new moves. But unlike a lot of the recent River City games that I've played, like Tokyo Rumble on the 3DS, early in the game, I got this triple kick, and that was it. I didn't have to do anything else for the rest of the game. I could just triple kick everybody, and the game was super easy. Whereas with River City Girls, you can get different moves. A lot of them are kind of upgrades to regular moves. A lot of them allow you to do new things, but it never makes the game, ridiculously easy. Like, the enemies still hit you. You'll still die on a boss every once in a while if you're playing on normal difficulty. So it really kind of keeps that interest as you go along. The game's only about 5 hours, so it doesn't overstay its welcome either. When you finish it, it's satisfying. You've had a good time. The music is fantastic. You have your regular kind of level music. You're kind of retro inspired a little bit, and then you have other levels where there's a girl singing and there's a band behind her, and the music's great, man. I'm listening to it and I'm turning to my buddy and I'm like, this soundtrack is really good. And he's like, yes, it is. and it reached the point where, unlike with most beat 'em ups, I actually played it mostly by myself, finished it by myself, and it was just fun the whole time. The characters are really cheesy in a good way. The boss fights are all very unique and very fun. And the enemies, they sprinkle in enough new enemies as the game goes on. Like, every time you reach a new level, and there's kind of like 5 main sort of areas. Every time you reach a new one, there's a new type of enemy that you fight. And the enemies they're all fun, man. Like, there's one who's like a Terminator clone. He's like a big, beefy Arnold looking robot. And he doesn't say any words. He only makes Arnold sounds. So if you like punch him, he's like, ah. If he attacks you, and it's funny, and the game is full of those little touches, those little comical things. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun. Great beat 'em up. Best beat 'em up I've played in years.
Yeah, that's
and I.
Oh no, I was gonna. No, it was just I was just saying like, wow, man, that's like 3 Switch games that I never would have thought of getting, you know. But now I'm like, add to cart.
Yeah, especially, you know, River City Girls 2, if it's on sale, it's just such a lighthearted. It's a very easy meal to eat. You know what I mean? Like it goes down real easy. You can play it real quick.
Yeah, I think what you've been the games you've been describing just kind of hit like a good tone for me right now. Like just these nice, just smooth, easy playing games. You know, don't take a lot out of you. Yeah. You know, between this and Hotline Miami, I'm just like, man, that's what I need. I need like quick hits. You know.
There's I like the other theme and what you've been talking about is like a lot of co-op stuff. Yeah. I think River City you can also play co-op, and for the longest time this is a complaint I've had. I think we've talked about it before. Is like couch co-op was just not really in the main for a long time, like in the main forefront of gaming. And I think like now you're seeing a lot more of that. Even if there's an online component, sometimes there's like you play as a team and you can play co-op as a team online, but like just having that ability to like be in the same room with somebody and play a game with them is like something that I've really missed. So I'm glad that there's like a lot of big fun titles that really incorporate that.
Yeah, it's a strange thing because when I think of my favorite games ever, right? Like my top 5, it's all single player, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the most fun I have gaming is with other people in a room. And honestly, it's not even close. Like, just hanging out with my buddies and playing something like Killer Queen and us collectively losing our shit. Or even just like, you know, even just playing Smash, right? Whether it's co-op or whether it's versus. Versus is great because, you know, there's so much shit talking and there's so much laughing. But co-op's also great because, you know, similar reasons, right? And so that's kind of what I'm on the lookout for these days, right? I just, you know, I've got several groups of friends here in town and we'll get together from time to time. We'll play these, you know, co-op or versus games. And it's always a great time. Always a great time. Like the games don't even really have to be good. It just so happens that we've hit upon some pretty good ones lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes absolute sense. Like, I think you could always say, like, do I love Persona 4? Yes. Does that mean I don't really enjoy NHL 94? No. Right. Like, that's two different mindsets for me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And Anthony has, like, built-in friends at home.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all right.
All right, well, that's it for me. There's other stuff I've been playing lately, too. For a long time this year, I was kind of like, I don't know if I would call it stuck in a rut, but there was just kind of like a lot of time devoted to single games, and I wasn't playing like, there just wasn't that much variety. But the past month, there's been a lot more variety. The next time we do this, I think we're gonna do our Game of the Year episode pretty soon. So I'll have a couple more that I've been playing lately to throw onto that pile.
And the thing is, I'm gonna stop you right here because I know we're running short on time and we're gonna wrap this up. But I'm not gonna let you not talk about Tokyo Mirage Sessions that you finally finished.
Yeah, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I just finished it the other day. I had fallen into the Arnie trap where I got to the final level.
That's
right.
And
you know what it is, dude? With some of these games, I can tell I really enjoy a game when I don't want to finish it. That's the problem. Is I got to the end of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and it was largely such a lighthearted, enjoyable experience that I didn't want it to end. And so I was stuck on the last level for like 2 months. You know what I mean? Like I'd pick up the game from time to time. I'd go to the arena to battle because you get like rewards from the in-game arena and stuff like that. I never actually finished it. But the other day I was like, you know what? I started playing this game in January. It's time to wrap it up. And I finished it. You know, the game had like a suitably cheesy ending with like an anime song that they sing together and so on. What can I say, man? That game is like bubblegum. It's the bubblegum of video games. It's so colorful. It's so delightful. It's very easy. When it comes out on the Switch, that will be a very, very easy recommendation. The only problem with it on the Switch is the same problem that like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze had and the other Wii U ports. It's going to be full price.
Full price, yeah.
And that really kind of irks me. But even still at full price, like, I don't know, it took me... I got 80 hours of gameplay out of it, and I finished all the side quests. You know, I did quite a bit of extra stuff in it. Yeah, absolutely delightful RPG.
I'm glad that we can put that saga to rest, because I remember you mentioning it on a previous What Have You Been Playing?
Yeah, like back in February.
So it's fun to finally bring it around and tell people that we do finish these games. We don't just play them for these episodes.
No, I'm not Arnaldo. I could never be you.
Exactly.
All right, everybody listening, thank you so much for listening. If you want to find us, regionfreegamers.com. We have companion pieces that go up with these episodes. I think Ozzy's the one who writes most of them. They're really good. Yeah. He's a much better writer than I am. And I strongly encourage you guys to check it out. You can also talk to us, and we love hearing from you, obviously. You can reach us on Instagram at Region Free Gamers Podcast. Also on Twitter, where because of the character limit, we are merely Region Free Gamer. If you're still emailing, regionfreegamers@gmail.com. You know, reach out if you have any ideas for a show. God knows we want more ideas for shows. So feel free to reach out to us and make some suggestions there. Yeah.
If you want to send us pictures of your pets that are cute.
Dude, I have all day. I have all day for cute pet pictures. Are you kidding me? If anything, I'll show them to my dog. And be like, you see that? You better behave. You're gonna get replaced. There's cuter dogs out there. All right, thanks guys. Thanks again everyone for listening.
Thanks guys.
Peace.